What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Tactical Advantage in part 3 of the Project Razorback 458 SOCOM build. Basically what we're looking at today is the optics choice that I decided to run with this rifle. Obviously being in 458 SOCOM, I didn't feel like I needed a whole bunch of magnification. I wanted something with some pretty generous eye relief and something that would be good to about 200 yards. That's where I think the most effective range is of this cartridge from what I'm reading. So basically what I decided to go with was a Vortex Strike Eagle 1:6 by 24 with the AR BDC reticle, their Sport Series CM202 2-inch offset 30mm mount, and the SV4 switch view throw lever. It looks like this will be a pretty easy install on the gun. I think it'll work pretty well. So I figured we'd just take a look at the products that we've got here from Vortex real quick, and then we'll get on to putting this stuff on the gun. Looks like the Strike Eagle comes with lens caps pre-installed. Actually pretty nice pieces actually. And it looks like a relatively simple design. There's your magnification ring. There's your reticle. It does have an illuminated reticle. And I believe under this would be your focus. But not a bad looking piece. So next we have the Vortex Sport Series cantilever mount, part number CM202. This is a 2-inch offset 30mm AR type mount. I think it's made in the USA. This is still subject to their lifetime unconditional warranty, which is a big reason why I kind of like going with Vortex. They make a decent product. Some of their products are well more than decent, but even on the lower line with like the Strike Eagles, it's a really decent product. They stand behind it. I like the looks of this mount. I'll talk a little bit more about it when we go to install. Alright, well, first thing we want to do is get the gun secured in the vise. Make sure it's relatively level. That way when we get to mounting the optic, mounting the base, we know we're starting with a pretty solid platform that's relatively flat. Next we have the base and rings. The set comes with a Torx wrench to kind of open everything up. So basically just want to get it set where it looks like it's going to be relatively comfortable for you. Basically what I'm going to do now is take the top of the rings off, set the optic in it, and set my eye relief. And that's going to be subjective for different people shooting a gun. So I'm going to do that off camera real quick just for the sake of time. And then we'll get back and we'll get that optic kind of mounted up. Actually guys, I thought about it, and I broke out my trusty Brownell scope ring alignment tools just to see how precise these mounts really are. Usually you use these when you install a set of rings to see if you need to lap the rings to get a good purchase and get everything to line up straight and true. With this, we already know the gun is level. I've gone and checked the base. It is indeed level as well as we stand right now. So I just figured I'd check the precision on these. And look how close that is. I mean, so this thing is dead nuts in line. The measuring tools and the alignment tools are precision machined, so this thing will show you any variance. So that's actually mildly impressive that the lower end mounts from Vortex are really that tight. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool to show you guys. It looks good, so we're going to go ahead and start moving forward and getting this optic mounted, getting my eye relief set, and we'll get everything torqued down. Alright, so I got my eye relief set, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the base at this point and get the rings finger tight, and then we'll go ahead and level out the reticle. Base finger tight. We've got our torque wrench set at 20 inch-pounds, which is what Vortex suggests for the base screws. One thing I kind of wanted to point out that I kind of like is the way this base is set up, where you have one single retainer with 4 screws in it. That's going to make for an awful sturdy mount. It does fit onto the rail really well. So you just want to make sure you're tight into the lugs before you tighten it. Another thing I see from time to time, and I probably doubt anyone watching this video does it, but I see people taking these longer kind of AR type mounts and bridging the gap between rail and receiver. That's kind of a no-no. You've got two different pieces of material under two different kind of forces, and bridging something that you're mounting your optic to, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I digress from that. So basically, let me get this torqued up, and then we'll go ahead and tighten the rings. Go ahead and do this in an alternating pattern. We'll start at the front. In the center. And that's it. Our base should be where it needs to be. Alright, so next we're just checking everything for level before we tighten up the rings. I've got my handy little bubble level that I've got on the rail. I've got one level on the scope, showing that we are level. We can kind of go that way as well. You can see we're canted just a little bit forward, but that's okay. And then I have this level on the receiver. This is actually a pretty nifty little level kit versus trying to use the rubber bands. It has these little magnets, and you can actually still stick it to the pin, one of your trigger pins in the receiver. So basically we're set up so we're good to go ahead and tighten this down. You just want to do this to make sure your reticle is level. That way it's just not off or canted, which will become mildly annoying as you use it in the field. So we want everything as straight and level as possible. So 1 second, we'll get this bad boy tightened up. Alright, so now we've got the upper part of the rings on. I did put a small dab of blue Loctite on each of the screws. We've got it hand tightened, trying to keep it equally spaced on both sides, so you're just trying to kind of even out all the pressure. And now we'll go ahead and torque these. The torque spec from Vortex is 16 inch-pounds. Well, alright folks, well there you have it. We have a properly mounted optic on Project Razorback 458 SOCOM. Next up in this series, we're going to be doing some ammo testing, blowing some stuff up with this gun, see how she performs. As we do that, like I said in earlier videos, we'll go into talking about some of the stuff we used on the lower and some of the other accessories that we have on the gun. But as of right now, she's ready to rumble. We've got some ammo in. So hopefully here in the next couple weekends we'll have some ammo tests for you guys, and we'll actually see how this thing holds up to real world testing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.